Welcome to another episode of Inside the Artist with your host, John J. Rupert. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2026, and we're stepping back into the creative world of renowned author and poet, Emiliano Martin. Good afternoon, Mr. Martin. How have you been since our last visit?
Good afternoon, John. Nice to see you.
We understand that you have released an amazing new book of all original poetry called From Dusk to Dawn. Please tell us about it.
Well, it is indeed a book. I don't think it is that amazing, but in my mind, as the author I am, yes, I think it is a great product.
And when was that released?
The book came out in January of this year. From Dusk to Dawn. It has been presented to the audience already.
Oh, wow.
I've been lucky enough to have a public presentation, but the book came out in January of this year.
How long did this book take from beginning to end?
Oh boy, on and off, because I have been doing something else in between. But to answer your question, the book started about April of last year. So it's been about almost 12 months. However, I cheated. When I said I've been cheating, in the sense of writing, because yes, the book started in April of last year, but some of the poems were old, put aside, and what I did is pull them out, clean them up, revise where I have to make revisions, and add them to the new poems coming up throughout last year. So that is how I came about with a product like this.
Nice cover. Speaking of revising, a question our viewers asked me is, when you revise one of your poems, do you ever find a new poem or get an idea of a new poem from the actual revision?
Sometimes it happens. You start revising the poem because it really needs to be improved. But sometimes in the process of making a revision, you take a detour and new ideas flow through your mind and you come up with another poem. Not completely different, but not the same as the one you started with. So yes, sometimes it happens.
In addition to the actual title of the book that you finished with, did you have any other titles for this book?
Oh yes, at least 5 titles came about my mind, but I have to make one up. And I decided From Dusk to Dawn, because there is a poem in the book that has that title.
Do you remember any of the other titles?
As a matter of fact, not off the top of my mind, because like I said, titles change continuously through my mind, so one day could be one, could be another one. Usually, not always, but usually, what I do is pick up a title of one of my poems to become the title of the book itself.
Speaking of the book itself, we would like to hear some samples. Could you care to share some?
Absolutely, I'll be delighted.
Thank you.
I have the book with me because you can imagine I have written so many poems that it's impossible to memorize them all. I have written over 7,000 poems already.
Wow.
So,
and I think you're coming close to almost 30 books too.
Probably. After 20, I don't
you
count
forget
anymore.
lose track, yeah.
Oh dear. Let's see, you asked for one of my poems. On page 43 of this book, I wrote a couple of short poems, but delightful, at least to my taste, or my experience. 4 facts of life. Birth is a miracle. Age is a number. Life is a sigh. Death is expected, and we have no chance to escape out of it.
That's true.
It's a very short poem that gave me inspiration to write another one that appears on the same page, 43. Burning lights. An engaging light is always on to shine upon the sequence of events that reason with an attitude. Yet, an attitude may turn ugly when the lights are burned out.
Wow.
That's a very simple poem.
Would you care to share one more with us?
Absolutely, I shall do.
I understand in that book you wrote one about Terry Schiavo. Would you like to share that with us?
I believe I do. I have to look for it. I know he's here somewhere.
And if
On Terry
anybody's...
Schiavo's death, which is a very sad happening in our lives. We all witness what happened because we couldn't help it. It was on television, it was on radio, it was on the newspapers, it was everywhere. And it was horrible, in my opinion. Agonizing days, Terry was lying in bed. Drama in her life. A drop of water cannot be harmful to death when life slips away. Law and its blindness were enough to declare war on the right to breathe. Personal and rude, the decision to be dead affects family. It was not her death. What the unmerciful means exploited by all. No one remembers. By now, it is forgotten, like life moving on. You may have noticed that the structure of the poem itself follows the rules of haiku, meaning every verse every stanza, I should say, has the 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. And I was able to do that in this poem that I call On Terry Schiavo's Death.
Yeah, it's a very powerful poem based on a very sad situation.
It was horrible. It was
In
horrible.
the end, her ex-husband got to choose life over her parents.
It was horrible.
Mr. Martin, as you continue publishing more and more books, do you find the writing process becoming easier for you?
The more, it's like everything in life. The more you do something, the better you become. Writing so much as I have done through my life have taught me a lot of lessons, not just about writing, but about thinking, performing, even the ability to read aloud the poem as it should be.
And speaking of publishing, what changes would you, as a published author, like to see in the publishing world today?
The publishing world is something that has changed extraordinarily, especially in the last, I would say, 10 years. 5 to 10 years. It's been because of the electronic era. The books on paper, books of the type of my own, are not decaying, are not lost. They are losing value because the new generation prefers the electronic reading through iPhones, iPads, whatever
Tablets,
electronic.
yeah.
There's so much out there, and the new generation is not as dedicated as we were by holding a book in our hands.
I also noticed, my friend, because I'm as thanks to you, a fellow author, is the analytics are showing that more and more people are spending less time reading. Like they'll read maybe 3-5 minutes, if that, and then they're off doing something else. Whereas back in the day, people sat down with a book. Some people, and you remember the phrase, I picked it up and I just couldn't put it down. Nowadays, they can't hold it on anymore. It's like, I'm done with it, It's just...
The span of attention people will give to the reader is about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with the span of attention that the audience would give to the poet when he or she presents the works before an audience. Mm-hmm. You got 3 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
If in 3 minutes you do not make an impact, either through what you want to say, either with your voice, either 3 minutes, the brain of the audience in general goes off. Because people have no patience. People have no time to waste. Not necessarily to waste because you don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. It's because the brain is built that way. So it is very difficult today. You're right in your assertion of people don't pay attention more than so many minutes when reading a book. It has to be interesting enough. That is why, and this is another subject, that is why sex appeals to most people. Because they find it, wow, this is what I like.
Yeah.
In the case of poetry, unless you really do like poetry, it's very difficult to grab somebody's attention. Mm-hmm. It's got to be something very special. It is a shame, because there is a lot of pleasure in reading something that is worth, something good. Mm-hmm. It is life.
I noticed whenever I do public readings, the most I read is 2 poems. That's it. Because if you get to the third one, you may start losing people. So I want to just give them enough, just of a taste, and then walk away. As the old saying is, leave them wanting more.
That I understand.
Speaking of wanting more, do you have any advice for potential authors that are on the fence about publishing their own books?
Potential authors that want to publish have to do research, look for what they need and what they want or what they can afford. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody is honest enough to let you know up front what the consequences of publishing are. Unless you are a criminal or a general or somebody who came out of a war as a hero or a sports individual that has already a reputation built up, mm-hmm. It's very difficult to grab the attention of people, especially as a newcomer. So my recommendation to new potential authors is do the research, look for what you need, what you want, or what they can offer you. There's a lot of people out there, but not everybody is the same.
And also in my case, I can speak for myself, before I became an author, I sought your advice. Well, it's good to seek out other authors to kind of get a feel for what you're going to
Getting in
come
touch
up
with
against.
somebody who's been there before helps on everything in life. Absolutely.
We understand that you recently read, as you said earlier, some of your poetry to a live audience. So tell us, how does it feel to receive the immediate reaction from your words?
It is marvelous. You are up on a stage, facing the lights, facing the audience, and the audience give you a warm round of applause that you can feel through experience in life. You can feel and separate a round of applause that is phony or a round of applause that comes from the heart. When that occurs, you can feel it. You can pick up the vibrations, and that make you feel much better and ready to read another poem.
Speaking of poems in your book, where can our viewers and your fans purchase From Dusk to Dawn in addition to all your previous books?
My books are in the internet, at least they're announced. Amazon, Google Reads.
Your publisher?
The publisher lulu.com has all my books, of course. And I have other books that I have published in the past, when I was younger, especially chapbooks, that are around. I still have a couple of copies with me, but they didn't see the light in a wide open window because I was restricted to social poetry camaraderie I used to share way back in the old days when I was younger. So once that era of my life disappeared, the acceptance for reading my chapbooks have diminished.
Well, plus that was also before the internet as well.
Yes, that's right.
And social media, as this is right now, YouTube.
This is different. Now we are in a different world.
Speaking of a different world, we heard that you have a very successful podcast where you share your original poems and thoughts and songs with the world. Please tell us about that.
It is something amazing in my life because I never expected that kind of an acceptance. Yesterday I was looking at the latest reports of how the audios I put on a podcast are being received in the world, and to my surprise, yesterday, in the last 30 days, 76 countries in the world
Wow.
have been listening to my podcast. This is something I never thought of because when I started, there were only 3 countries listening to my audios. And now it just doesn't let up. All the American continent, from north to south, all the way up from Canada down to Chile, every country listens to me. Everyone. The Spanish-speaking world, of course, because it's only 28 countries in the American continent. And when I say the American continent, I should say American hemisphere, because the Americans like to have the north, the central, and the south. But it's the whole continent that one time or another separated from the other continent, way back in Africa as well as Europe. But they also listen to me in Asia,
Wow.
Japan, in India, in Indonesia, in Russia. I never thought people would listen to Sweden, Finland, Germany.
The space shuttle.
Well, I don't know about that, but I wouldn't be surprised because this is ridiculous. The podcast is very successful so far.
And what is the name of it?
The name of the podcast is, in Spanish, Poesía con Voz, which means in English, poetry with voice. The voice is mine, and the poetry, 95% is mine. The rest is lyrics from a very famous song that everybody remembers. And once in a while I put a poem of one of the classics. People do appreciate that, but knowing that people listen to my poetry, my words, my verses, that brings me to a level of, are you kidding me? I never thought that was, but anyway, fortunately for me, when I do the podcast in Spanish, it's more than 35 countries in the world that can understand Spanish language. Even though we do have different accents, we still know what we can say each other. Either Mexico, Argentinians, or Peruvians, or it doesn't matter. Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Venezuelans, Spanish, even the Portuguese, who are able to understand Spanish very well. So I'm lucky. But even the Spanish programs I produce are being listened by people who have nothing to do with Spanish. In Germany, I have a big audience following my... So, to answer your original question, the program is there. It's on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and Saturdays. Here in America, you can, well, in the internet, you can pick it up from Apple Podcast. You can pick it up from Spotify, which is the largest podcast
music
in the
thing,
US.
podcast,
Spotify has now And I'm there. You look for me, Emiliano Martin, his podcast, and I will appear in, I believe there are about 14 companies that have picked up my audios, and they put it out every Tuesday, every Thursday, and on Saturdays. On Saturdays, my podcast is in English. The rest of the week is in Spanish, but it doesn't matter. People listen to it either for curiosity or whatever it is. I welcome it.
And at the end of the video, viewers, we will give the information where you can hear and see Mr. Martin's podcast. Speaking of seeing and hearing, our viewers and your fans would like to hear some more poems from your new book.
All right. I still have the book with me, which is something very dear. I love the way the book came out. Lulu.com are the editors of the book, and they do know how to make books.
Yeah, they do a good job making it.
I was going to read a poem from page 27, which is vibrant and enchanting butterflies. This is just to change the pace, the scenery. Colorful and delicate, the butterflies trembling, wings captivating our gaze through the air beneath the expensive sky. With delight, acting like crazy, the butterfly spins upwards and glide with wild abundance, leaving us entranced and sprawled on the ground in awe. Each time we reach out to catch them, they effortlessly evade our grasp, darting away and leaving us yearning.
Beautiful.
It's a different poem.
Speaking of yearning, I know your fans and our viewers are yearning to hear the title poem of the book.
Appears on page 12. And it is indeed the first poem of
the book. Oh, wow.
At day's end, a carpet of darkness spelled out an evening, caressed by a gentle breeze. And while silence prevailed, a silvery moon proudly shined its full silhouette. It appeared the world was falling still. There was a hush in the air, making my voice to come out of nowhere. Like if I were reborn, excited and yet continuously humming words hourly, insisting along from dusk to dawn.
Wonderful. Mr. Martin, what new projects do you have up your sleeve in that creative head of yours?
I'm always trying to create something new. I'm working on a new book in Spanish. I don't have a title yet. I don't even know what it's going to be all about because my mood changes. The state of my mind sometimes goes right, sometimes goes left, sometimes stays centered, focus into what I want to do. But there are so many things going on. And right now with the news in the world and the economy and the price of gasoline and other things I've been involved with, like I still do my biography work. I make designs on wood, and so this is the project I'm writing on right now, and it's going to take me some time because I do not have a direction. I know what I'm going to do, but I'm not even thinking about it. I don't even have a set date. I want to, and I have a lot of things on my mind right now.
We understand the last time we spoke, we visited with you, you mentioned about a manuscript you found that you had written for your wife. Are you working on that as well?
On and off. I found it. I started to make revisions and add and on, and I put it aside, and I got so many things to go about. It's incredible. Sometimes there's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, amen to that. What would you like to say to all of our viewers and all of your loyal readers out there?
I do really want to thank the attention you have paid me, either reading my books, following the videos produced by your person, listening to my podcast. I do have a lot of appreciation for people who have attended my poetry presentations. Last week I had one in the town of Philadelphia. I was very happy to see a lot of people, about 37 people attended the reading.
Wow, that's nice.
And to me it was nice. And they all shook my hand, and they all told me how nice it was, and blah, 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 blah. So I do enjoy that very much, and I do thank people the attention they give me.
Once again, Mr. Martin, please tell us where we can purchase your new book, From Dusk to Dawn, as well as all your previous books.
The publisher, lulu.com, offers the book. Amazon, Goodreads, Google Reads, it's on so many people out there. A lot of books, a million. There. If you go to the internet and look for Emiliano Martin and his books, I will pop up with a lot of companies that offer the book. Even I found that eBay. Some people put my books on eBay, I'll take it as long as I can get credit financially. But yeah, the book is in the internet, and in poetry readings I offer to the public. I always carry a couple of books with me, just as not a souvenir, but an exchange of ideas.
Before we sign off, Mr. Martin, would you care to share one more poem from your book with us?
One more poem. Let's see, I will end it with a simple poem on page 21. Louder than we think. The world is out in the street, often louder than we think. When it is so, the accent does not matter, but the attitude and tone of the voice are considered a priority to evaluate the spoken issues.
Amazing.
From dusk to dawn.
Poems by Emiliano Martin. Or in Spanish, how would your last name be pronounced? Martin?
Martin.
Mr. Martin, we here at Inside the Artist always enjoy when you welcome us into your creative world with the new releases of your new publications. Have a great day, sir. Thank you so much for giving our viewers and all of you readers out there a lifetime, and I mean going on 30 books is a lifetime of amazing creativity as only you can. Thanks again, Mr. Martin.